YouTube model railroader fans, as I thought I was adjusted, but apparently I wasn't. Starting off on a wonderful note. Good evening. It actually is evening here. I know by the time everybody sees this, it may not be, but that's okay. Evening model YouTube model railroader fans, budget model railroader fans, Maryland area model railroader fans, and whoever else watches this wonderful brand of nuttiness that I bring to the table every so often. As it seems these days, it's getting fewer and farther between. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out where to start, to be honest. Because there's been quite a bit going on. Not so much on the railroad itself, but a lot going on. If you followed me for any length of time, you know I'm an avid bowler. I bowl once I shouldn't say an avid bowler. I bowl once a week. I'm the president of a league that bowls on Friday nights. That started back up the first week of September. So I've had that going on. Of course, you know, my daughter's in college. She's spent the first year down at St. Mary's, but this year she's going to Towson, which means she's a little bit closer to home. So, you know, that I was an empty nester for about a year. Anyway, and I know on the last vlog, which was actually in August, believe it or not, I said that I was going to try and get some work done down here. Well, yes and no. I actually did start doing some work down here. I started taking out some of the wonderful, which you can't see, well, yeah, you see these next to the black. There's one, and there's one next to it. Those are runners. They were put up originally for the original, 1 foot by 1 foot square ceiling tiles, which obviously are no longer in the ceiling. Those have been long gone. I actually pulled those out a while back, actually a long time ago, before we actually even brought the railroad into the basement. You know what, I forgot to tell you all what date it was. See that? Just so you all know, it is October the 7th, 2018. And this is actually vlog number 12. 2 minutes in, I tell you what vlog it is and what the date is. That's pretty freaking bad. Anyway, so a couple of days, actually last weekend I guess it was, I started tearing into, taking down some of these crossbury, these runners that were up there, and in the hopes of probably either painting or actually throwing in a ceiling down here. And we've been going back and forth, and the reality of it is there's a couple other things that have been going on. We're gonna hit those here in a minute, but I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do. I don't know if I'm going to try and put a minimal drop ceiling, which they have. They've got a system that you can go ahead and put right to the rafters, which would be great, because then I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, anything hanging down so many feet, because there's really no room here. Or if I'm just going to go ahead and paint it. And to be honest, with the amount of stuff that's actually up in these rafters, it's probably better off that I just go ahead and sink the $1,000 into putting in the drop ceiling, or the semi-drop ceiling. I shouldn't say it's a drop ceiling, because it's really not. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. But at any rate, let me back up just a second, because like I said, there has been some developments, there has been some things going on. My wife kind of surprised me a few weeks back. She's obviously, which I'm not going to say I'm not, but she's worried about the future. And as far as being able to do steps. Okay, I get it. I ain't getting any younger. I got a ways to go, but I ain't getting any younger. I've got a bad back, I've got a bad knees. Steps eventually are going to become a problem. So we were thinking about, or she found a place. It was a quasi-rancher. The reason why I say it was a quasi-rancher is because of the fact that they clubbed out the basement. And we were looking at it, and we're looking at it, and we're like, you know what? This is the right size. It's the right place. It's in the right area. Let's see what we can do. So we did. And they basically said no. Wasn't the money. The owners basically just came back and decided that they wanted somebody that didn't have to sell a place to be able to get their place, I guess. So, any rate. So here we sit. But the ultimate thing is, though, is it does bring up an issue, and that's what to do. Do I go ahead and tear this thing down and rebuild it in the space that I've got, or what I had already planned on doing? Do I wait and see what happens next year? What am I going to do? Well, to be honest, I'm going to go ahead and probably let this thing sit another year. Go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and try and get it running for the holidays. It hasn't been running a month, or it hasn't been running months. And I know that's another thing that everybody on here wants to say. They want to see trains run. They want to see the layout. And right now it's not in any shape to do much of anything except for sit there. Especially since I started tearing out some of the rafters down here. Or not tearing out the rafters, but tearing out these runners down here. There's sawdust and everything else. And the layout needs to be cleaned. So that's going to be the priority, is getting the thing cleaned off and then ready for the holidays and making sure everything is running. I'm still hoping to finish up this dude. Haven't had a chance to mess with it obviously anymore. And in the process the other week, when I was down here messing around, I found out that this one here had an issue. I don't remember what the issue was now, but it had an issue, so it needs to be looked at. I probably ought to go through and do another maintenance run on everything again, because it's been sitting. So that'll probably be coming again. And in the process of this whole wonderful mess, this new computer that I brought down here to do all my video editing software decided, oh, you don't have a valid version of Windows. Seriously? I typed in the code that's on the computer. You can't tell me I don't have a valid... So basically, I ended up having to rebuild the thing. Well, not rebuild the thing, but re-image the thing. Well, when that happened, apparently the thing decided to wipe out all my stuff on the storage drive. Including all the vlog presets and all that stuff. Yeah. Gone. However, sometimes you gotta be smarter than the average bear. I had a hard drive that I've been using for just moving stuff back and forth. Yeah, this here is actually supposed to be for a network drive, but the network drive thing never worked out for me. And since my father-in-law had this neat little thing of just this USB connection, I just went ahead and slid the drive into this case so that way it doesn't, the drive isn't exposed. But the nice thing of it is on that drive happened to be vlog number 7, plus all the pictures and things of that nature, and I'm like, thank you. So, unfortunately, I did lose all the scanning that I did of the N-gauge layout that I had. So I'm going to have to go back and rescan all that stuff. Thankfully, it's still sitting down here, but it's here at least. So I'm hoping now that I've got this thing straightened out. We'll see. It's now running Windows 10, so yay. I'm just now learning how to use that. Namely because this week at work they decided to upgrade my laptop to Windows 10. Anyway. So, that's a couple of the things that have been happening. There is one other thing that's been happening. I had a bunch of 5? I had 5 towers, old PC towers, that were beyond economical use, I guess is a good term for it. Let's put it this way: they were running, well, when I first got them, they were running like what, Windows 95, 98 XP. Anyway, they just became the motherboards and all that just aren't going to handle anything new. So what I decided to do is cannibalize those old towers, specifically for their power supplies. Why? Because I've seen and heard from a couple different groups that these things are really good for running certain things on your railroad. Now, I haven't figured out exactly what you can run with them yet, because I haven't figured out exactly what the voltage is that's coming out of this thing, although some of them are marked. Case in point, this one is 5 volts at 22 amps, 3.3 volt at 14, 12 volts at 6 amps, minus 12 at 0.3, minus 5 at 0.3, and plus 5 at 0.72. So, I would imagine you can probably run some accessories off of this. You might actually even be able to run some other things with it. So, I'm going to take a look and see what we can do with it. I've got 5 of them. Give me a second. Why is it not allowing me to activate? Come on. Anyway, okay. No, the video editing software just came up and said that it needed to be activated. Something else I'm going to have to fight with now. Anywho, so, like I said, that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I'm up to. That's what I'm doing. Hopefully I'm going to start getting back into doing these things on a little bit more regular basis. I'm not sure. We'll see. You know, it just depends on what's going on, how busy I am, and like I said, I've been extremely busy. And the fact that I've got a couple of major projects at work, and I've been doing some overnight stuff, so it is what it is. So, you all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. See ya.